Discretion is advised.
Happy Monday, you are listening and or watching PWNCAST. This is episode 136. We are in patch 7.14, maybe a couple weeks, we don't really know. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Trial of Valor transmog sets that are available, which are pretty freaking amazing. Kirin World Quest issues, lots of issues and a fix, and Wowhead being called AIDS of the internet this week. We have that and much, much more, so make sure you guys stay right here.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there is a group that defies convention. A group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch. A group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. A group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt, Bell, the PWNCAST Vanguard. The wolves whose howl can signal death's coming, Lycan. Snap back and get faster for the pet battle Grandmaster, Gemma Banks. He's sharp as a dagger with that dapper swagger, Secret Sauce. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are PWNCAST.
Welcome back. I guess I have to unmute these weirdos. I don't really know what's going on with Pikachu. Kind of strange, but I guess I'll unmute them. I'm sure you guys have probably noticed by now, those of you that are watching versus the audio, we are down to Gemma Banks. Gemma Banks has decided to abandon us for Vegas, which if
for vacation.
If I could abandon us for Vegas, I would do just the same. So I'm not hating.
You
yeah.
You unmuted us, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did.
Big old sniffle right there.
I did.
Uh-huh.
I did unmute. That's okay. We share everything with our audience. So we are sad that Gemma is not here. He did break his streak of never missing an episode.
Sure did. But have fun. Grab some STDs.
But you shouldn't be worried about the show while you're in Vegas anyway. If you chose to make the vacation during showtime, that's your problem, not mine. So he'll be fine. We will miss him, and we'll be sad that he's not here, and we'll look forward to him being on here next week. So make sure you guys go to Twitter and wish him well on his Vegas endeavors. Hopefully he doesn't end up in Bangkok, because that does happen in Vegas. So we'll hear his tales.
They both will be coming.
Well,
I'm taking over the Gemma Banks.
Oh, you're going to be.
I've already got the Pikachu hat and the Pokemon Go. I'm ready to go.
Well, I did bring the Death Knight who likes to raid his bathrobe Lycan.
Mm-hmm.
So comfy.
So
and at least I don't have to wear pants when I'm on the show because I have the bathrobe on. So if I stand up like this, well, no, never mind.
But probably better not. I don't want to see any of that going on inside though.
It's a legendary staff.
That's so awkward. That should be saved for your wife and no one else. Ish, I'm so sorry you have to deal with this on a daily basis. She is.
That thing hasn't been rated since AQ40.
Oh, dang.
Nice.
That was such a good burn. Probably true, but a good burn nonetheless. I dig it. That was really good.
Yeah. Secret one, like in 0.
He left me speechless.
I did also bring the priest who led both Guild 1 and Guild 2 to glory this week with a full heroic clear of Emerald Nightmare Secret Sauce.
Yes. It was good. It was well executed. Communication. Any raid team will know that. Communication's key, and it helped us succeed. So, kudos to writers. Congrats to everybody that made it. Once we get this on farm, we will get everybody else our AOTC at the same time. So, thanks.
It's pretty legit. I'm pretty proud of that. We combined raids this week because the holidays, I didn't want to force people to run, so we just were getting gear for people who still needed it. So
I have to, but everybody's back on Team 1. It's killing them from carrying Team 2. That's for you, Aja.
She's going to probably murder you in your sleep.
Probably.
I feel like it's coming. She's probably plotting your death right now as we speak, actually. There, it's funny because for everything World of Warcraft does and their website, they provide a lot of things. But the one thing they don't do is essentially what Wowhead does, right? They don't offer all that stuff that Wowhead does. there's a reason for that. It's because they choose not to, because they want people to find that stuff out. They don't want to be the bringer of things. They want gamers to find those things out.
That's valid.
And that's always been their thing. They've chose to focus on the back end of stuff versus what they're providing to players on their website. They have guides and stuff for new players and all of that, but that's never really been their
But
focus.
those are super watered down too. They're not
Right,
they're not
they're
as
like-
in depth as
They're like
as MMO
basic
Champ,
bitch.
Audit,
Like
stuff
they're
like that.
your get started, roll out of the box. Here's the thing you need to do to be successful. So
Right.
what they have done and they've always done is the leaderboards. Leaderboards for challenge modes, leaderboards for PvP. Well, they now have a mythic Keystone leaderboard, which is really nice. It's on
that's
their
pretty
site. You can see who the leaders are. I'm not on any of them, shockingly, because reasons. But make sure if you guys are Mythic Plus followers and you're interested in knowing where you rate, go see if you're on the leaderboards. It's on the World of Warcraft website. Make sure you check that out. I like the way it was done. A friend of mine is one of the developers of that, and they did a really good job. So
That's cool.
Shout out to Kevin and his team, because they did a really good job. And they're still, as with everything, they always release it and then they kind of cultivate it, but
Yeah, it's just trial and error.
make sure you guys take advantage of that Keystone thing, because it's definitely a big deal. Due to few quest spawning for Kirin Tor, which was pretty funny, because people were so mad about this for the emissary quest for Kirin Tor. They just hot fixed it so everybody gets the quest. You get a quest, we all get the quest. So if you go to Dalaran and you go see your Kirin Tor emissary vendor, you can turn it in whether you've done it or not, and you'll be able to get the box and the artifact power from it. So I don't know how long it's going to be a thing. Probably as long as it's an emissary, which they usually go for 3 days, and I don't know when it started. So I don't know. The developer on their tweet didn't say anything about how long it was going to be, but make sure you guys at least go get it. Now, if you haven't seen it, like if it's grayed out for the quest, you need to do one world quest, and it should proc that on return to Dalaran. You should be able to get that. This was from the developer, so if it's wrong, don't yell at me, yell at him, because he's the one that said it.
Have you tried those stupid
I
quests they just
think
made
if they
for them?
weren't so buggy, they would be quite fun. I know that Remedy did.
Which ones?
Remedy did 2 of the new ones, and he said that if it wasn't so buggy, that he probably would have really enjoyed it.
The ones where you have to like be a demon hunter and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to like parkour and meet
Those
your
were
goal.
fun. What the
Oh,
hell are you
no.
talking about? I enjoyed it. It took me like 30
Yeah.
tries, but
Remedy did say that
it's all about the angles. Some of the stuff you can't see, so you literally have to be rotating your camera at the same time. But when you do that, as you're rotating and you kind of glide, it will glide you in that direction. So you kind of got to be wary of if you're right turning or
not really
using
a good
right
glider.
click.
I glide into mountains and I pop my
That's
glider
dumb.
before I'm actually off the mountain, and then it cancels the glider. So when I jump, I have no glider because it's on cooldown. And then I turtle on the hunter because I think that the turtle's going to save me from dying, and it absorbs a lot of damage, but it does not absorb a full fall death. So,
Oh, okay.
and then I forgot that I have a feather. Right, hunters get a feather in their order hall, and that feather is basically like a glider. It allows you to glide. I forgot as a hunter that I had that feather. I picked it up. You go in every day you go into your order hall and you pick up your feather, and you could use it. And I didn't use my feathers. There's death.
Fucking up.
It's embarrassing sometimes to be me.
A little bit.
I don't hunter though. I mean, I'm huntering, guys. We'll talk about that more in my week and wow. But so make sure you guys go get your free Kirin Tor emissary, because if nothing else, you could get some lovely 835 gear when you're sitting at item level 870, and you'll probably get a relic for a spec that's not yours, which that's actually coming up in Bell's Bites, because I got a huge rant.
Or you can get a legendary for your off spec,
Right,
and be
'cause that's-
pissed off. Because that's the thing.
That's equally well. They've made some adjustments and removed the soft cap in regards to that, and that's actually on the list. But we'll talk about that here in a second. Which I guess I could segue into that. So Blizzard has basically revealed to the world that the legendary item soft cap has been removed. Now, they did remove this, I want to say about a week and a half ago, basically allowing bad luck protection to continue once players acquired more than 4 legendaries. Some of this change was not noticed by players sooner because many of the players at soft cap were pushing progression for Trials of Valor, and what proxit is the boss kill. So if you're progressing and you're not killing things because you're wiping, you're not going to see the fruits of that labor because you're not getting the reward from it, which the possibility of the reward comes from the boss kill in raids, dungeons, and stuff like that. So that is a thing, and I don't know what this means for people with 20 legendaries. I only have one.
Awesome.
But basically you still have that, that bad luck protection is still in place. So definitely something huge there. And legendaries, in the post that he made, he just said, we underestimated the players' drive and want to get these legendaries and stuff like that. And they talked about the reason that they limit you how many you're allowed to equip, and they don't want it to be such a big gap between the have and the have-nots, which I respect that, because you don't want it to be a thing where what we talked about that week with HOTS is you don't want it to be a thing where I get kicked off the team for somebody who has a legendary.
Right.
So I appreciate that they're constantly working towards it. In 7.1.5, they're adding more legendaries. They are nerfing and buffing some of the legendaries that need it. So hopefully they're cleaning up what legendaries actually drop for you. I do think that it sucks if you finally get a legendary and it's bullshit, that it's not for your spec, it has the wrong stats, or it's just shit. I don't think that should be a thing, much like when you do a world quest and it gives you a fucking relic for not your spec. Thanks a fucking heap, Blizzard, for making me waste my time doing this bullshit for you giving me something that's not my spec. I get it. Maybe other people multi-spec, right? I'm not one of those people that swap at the drop of a dime, and I shouldn't have to waste my time doing something to get something that's not for the spec I'm on. It takes you a line of code to say, if she's in Destro, she should be getting Destro artifact relics.
But even with the relics, though, you know what relics you're getting into before you go do the world quest.
Valid.
But you have to do that crap anyway for the emissary. So why are you forcing me to have to do the shit for the emissary and then I get bullshit as a reward for it? So I posted on my Facebook. One of my Blizzard friends was like, QQ more. I'm just like, no, fuck you and your whole team. He's not even the lead. He doesn't even do Legion. He works on Overwatch, but still. So I guess that's just the nature of RNG. And this is, I guess, I don't know if they ever plan on dealing with it. I'm certain I'm not the only person that's frustrated. Now, don't confuse this with us. I'm not saying I want everything handed to me, guys. Not at all. I don't mind working for it. But when I do stuff, I expect to be rewarded according to my spec, not according to affliction. Not according to, like on my hunter, I got an iron relic, and I'm marksman. What am I going to do with that? Stick it in my ass? Like, it doesn't do anything for me. And it's soulbound, so I can't, like,
you can't even trade it.
I can't put it in the auction house. I can't give it to a guildie who might need it. Like, shove off with that. Just fix it. The rewards that you get for the emissary. 835 gear, thanks a heap. I'll vendor that for 13 gold. I appreciate your effort. You're, like, at this point, I would rather you just give me gold and not give me gear, right? Like, just don't give me your crap because I'm not going to use it. But that's my little rant.
I understand that. It's like when you first started gearing out Bell, you got a lot of your item level based off of world quests and stuff like that. And when you started doing mythic dungeons, so I feel that the loot now from world quest should continue to go up. Item level wise. Even if it's by 5, right? Like, even if it's just a minuscule, or even if it's different stats, even if it's maybe it's the same exact item level of what I have, but it's a different option for stats. Maybe you could fuck off with your giving warlocks, specifically destruction warlocks versatility, because you can stick that in your ass, because I don't need that either. But, like, maybe, do you think maybe just, even if it's just a couple item levels more, or maybe it's just different stats, or... There should be a cap for a player's item level to start giving them higher item level gear from these world quests, because 835, like you said, you vendor it. I just disenchant it. A lot of other people probably just vendor it too. It just makes more sense, because there's no need for 835 gear when you're
right
860 plus. Let's just put it that way.
Make it account bound. Make it where I could send it to an alt that needs it, or
Yeah,
do something
that's valid.
besides just vendoring it. Like, I get this is just the nature of the game that we play. I totally get it. When we run old content, we get old gear. I get that. I just feel like what happens with that is the world quests become very mundane. At this point, the only reason I do the world quest is for my artifact power, my resources, and because I want the possibility of another legendary dropping when I complete an emissary. But it's not fun for me because it's just a chore. It's something I have to get over and done with because it's crap that I need. Instead of it being like, you have to do some of these gear world quests because you have to have 4, and sometimes there isn't a lot of emissary stuff up for that emissary you need. You just have to just suck it up and do it.
Tough it out, yeah.
And once you're exalted, I'm exalted with almost everyone, so the reputation isn't even a gain for me anymore. That's why I started rolling alts, so that I could just keep with that momentum, still do world quests, and just, work on new stuff. I get it. I wish that they did a lot of great things, but I want to see them fine tune the process, fine tune what you've put there, make it a little bit better for those that are continuing through this process, because now what's going to happen is you're going to see people get bored because they don't want to roll an alt and they don't want to do the stuff on their main. It's already happened. We've already lost guildies that are like, I'm bored. And I query to them, how are you bored? There's so much. But then when you really think about it, do you really want to get on and do the same bullshit world quest for the same bullshit 835 pair feet that you've already gotten 4 world quests in a row?
That's why I stopped doing world quests. I know I need the artifact power. Yes, everyone needs that.
And then the order resources, but
that order resources. But like, I'm level 31 on my artifact weapon, but I don't want to do anything because I'm exalted with every rep, and I don't feel the need to just disenchant everything.
It's grindy, right? It starts to feel grindy.
It's just a grind now, and it's gonna get to where that last artifact, bar is gonna be 1,000,000 artifact power or whatever the hell it's gonna be. Yeah, get what I'm saying? And I'm only at like the 570,000 one, and I don't want to do it. I just do everything through my phone.
I've got 3 more minor trades to put in before I've got it completely filled up, and I'm sitting at 712,000 now. I'm getting close to 20,000 now for the artifact power, but it does get ridiculous, and it gets grindy, and it just. But there's so much other stuff out there, and I think that's what people are not looking at. People are looking at just, okay, this is, again, they're going back to that same mindset. This is what I've always done. This is only what I do. I've been now delving into PvP a little bit more. Even just with the World Quest PvP and doing the battlegrounds, and now I've got one of my hidden artifact skins, and I got to do 1,000 kills, and there's still so much other stuff out there to do.
There is. It's just you have to want to do it,
right? And there's a lot of people say stuff like this, but I'll tell you right now, it's what you get out of it is what you put into it. Even if you only have that 10 minutes. Yeah.
I'll agree with that. You don't necessarily have to be grinding world quests. I don't have to get on Bell and grind them. I could do a million other things. So, that totally... I agree with that 100%. I think that was good clarity to bring to my rant, to give me some perspective. But I think at the same time, I just would like them to just address just a tiny bit. I don't want you to give me... I don't want 870 gear from a world quest. It's not what I'm asking. Just maybe make it a tiny bit worth the effort that I put in, but I get it. I could go PvP, or I can pet battle, or I can go achievement hunting because there's lots of them. I could go do the things that are required for all the different the different augments for your weapon, and there's a lot of stuff that I could do. It doesn't necessarily have to be involved around that.
Well, too, to solve your relic issue, if it's for an off-spec, maybe go Affliction and try it.
Maybe you could fuck off, because I'm pretty sure I'm never going to do that.
Or you could just equip it onto that staff or whatever the hell dagger that you have.
I have the Scepter of Sargeras, okay? That's what I have. I have the Master's Weapon. I'm going to need you to respect the Scepter of Sargeras.
The skull with the
then you should use it then.
The Skull of the Minari is awesome, except the Warlock should be holding it and it not creepily floating behind it, because it just weirds me out, because it just floats there.
That thing looks so gnarly.
It does, but it doesn't even float.
The hidden artifact one looks.
It doesn't even float in the right direction. It just hangs out there. It's like just a hanging tendon. It's so bizarre to me, but I like it. Demonology is actually pretty cool. So.
I think I saw Road tweet that today. He goes, "Can we please just have the head follow us in the right direction?"
It's so weird because it shifts and it's so bizarre to watch. And when I watch a demonology run, I'm just like, "That's so. Why is it looking at me? Can you just?"
He's like, "Hey, hey."
But I always thought that it could either be sitting on the Warlock's shoulder, or maybe the Warlock could be holding it, similar to,
like an offhand.
What's his name holding Gul'dan's skull. I just thought, maybe we could be a little creative, but apparently my pleas were not heard, and it's still just like awkwardly stalking people. But it does look cool. Don't get me wrong. It does look amazing. It's just awkward. It's just like that hanging thing that is just not.
It's like this. It's like.
It's so weird.
That's how it turns too, right?
And then it turns all the way around. Like there's no like central point where it just sits in. Like you'll be fighting something and it's facing the opposite direction, and it's just it doesn't.
That was the closest thing I could get to resemble.
I don't want to know why you have a tiny helmet. I'm gonna just not judge you.
It was like one of the first things I ever got from Detroit.
I'm not gonna judge you. Time walking is gonna be the bonus event coming up
buddy.
by the time everybody listens and watches this. So make sure you go in, even if you have the mount. Farm your time warp badges, because you're going to need those for the Miss Pandaria stuff. You're going to want that Cloud Serpent mount. You're going to want those commendations, which I have a guide coming out on 7.1.5 stuff. It should be out in a couple days to let you guys know exactly what you need to be prepared for. But those commendations increase your rep with Pandaria, which is important because for those of you who are new, don't have those reputations for Pandaria, or maybe you didn't focus on them, whatever, you can go back and get all the old recipes that you needed to learn. Like for us completionists out there, those commendations, they give you 300 rep per commendation, and you can buy them from the Pandaland vendors. So make sure that even if you're not buying anything in current time walking, save it up, farm it up, keep it up,
that's valid.
And keep it for good use for that, because it'll definitely come in handy. The Trial of Valor. So Trial of Valor does drop a series of transmog sets for every type, right? Now, the cool thing is you can get them from boss drops, and you can get them via quests inside Trial of Valor. There's several quests that you can do that will reward those pieces. So I encourage you to check out what those pieces look like. All of them are pretty legit. My favorite's the Hunter. Well, not Hunter. The leather. The leather set's my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there's only like a cloth.
Leather they look pretty legit. They also have transmog options for weapons, which is really nice, especially for those of you who are not really digging the vibe on your artifact weapon. You appreciate the power, but maybe the look just doesn't go with what you're doing. Which, in truth, the look, my scepter does not go with my look. So I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not. It's not going with my style right now. So they do have different weapons that are good for transmogging. So pretty awesome. Yeah. Well, they don't have weapons, but there's the sets match weapons that are already available in game that you can get to transmog from Ulduar. Question mark? Maybe. I want to say it's Ulduar.
I know there's
Ulduar's where we deal with like the Titan stuff, right? That whole Stormheim situation. It's like all connected.
And there's two actually. Like I know I have the Chosen Dead. I actually got that to drop out of the thing of the garb of the Chosen Dead. The plate of the Chosen Dead, and it's like that bluish Titan thing.
Like
and
the
they
Titan
do have
thing
the two
with the guy Thorum, right?
races.
Thorum, he holds the globe. Yeah. He's in Storm Peaks. We were talking about that pre-show. He's the keeper of something with his pup, his wolf that you have to save for the Titan Strike when you get the Titan Strike artifact weapon.
Right.
And there's some really cool drops out of there that, for a lot of stuff that I was looking at those weapons going, there's nothing I have that would match this transmog, and that right there actually is perfect for them. And I believe there's even two single-handed maces to drop out of the Icecrown Citadel dungeons that they released at the end of Wrath that have some really nice transmog items to go with that. And
it's very Stormheimish in nature. That it's that whole theme of Trial of Valor, and that's kind of what the gear looks like, which is pretty nice. It's not a bad way to be gear-wise, especially when you're trying to find different looks. In my opinion, the transmog stuff that's been available this X-Pack has not necessarily been my favorite.
Your cup of tea.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it. It just hasn't been. I have a look that's old. I have the Black Mage Weave set. I just
You sure do.
The new stuff just isn't my fancy. It just doesn't catch my eye. Just me though. That's a personal opinion. I'm not knocking anybody that's got a transmog that's current content. I just don't. It doesn't bring anything to my situation. But I do like the Trial of Valor stuff. It does in fact tickle all of my fancies, and I have a lot of them to tickle. Don't really know what that means, but I just said it because it felt really good.
Now, something I do have a question with, and it has to do with the transmog. So I have finally got the hidden artifact appearance from the world bosses for Frosty Case.
Okay.
If you transmog, say you equip that hidden artifact appearance, because there's a quest that you have to do to kill It's 1,000 kills in PvP, 200 world quests and 100 dungeons. If you equip those items and then transmog them, does that actually count towards that? And that's one thing I don't understand.
I don't know.
Because, like I said, none of my gear would match that at all.
Right.
Yeah,
That's my only concern.
I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. I really am digging the cloth set, Vestment of the Chosen Dead. Is the cloth that's for the Priest, Mage, and Warlocks. It's pretty nice, actually. I don't know that I'd wear it, but I mean, I like looking at it, so it'll be nice to see that on people, because it's pretty. This blue set's really awesome, though. They have a blue set. I encourage you guys to go check it out. It's pretty awesome. Then you have the Hunter Shaman, which is the Chains of the Chosen Dead. Pretty legit there. And
it looks pretty neat.
Deathite Warrior Paladin, which is the Plate of the Chosen Dead, which is also equally awesome. But what's this blue set? I'm trying to figure out. Rogue, Monk, Druid, and Demon Hunter is the Garb of the Chosen Dead, which is the blue. It's like the dark blue, maybe teal, silver kind of set.
It's ugly.
You think it's ugly?
It's got that stupid thing that sits on top like this. It's ugly.
Well, I don't use my helmet on any of my tunes.
I don't either.
Because a lot of times the helmet just feels weird to me. It's just chunky. It's awkward. It just some I've seen a lot of people with really killer helmets, but I just don't. It's just not my get down. It's good for some people, but it's not good for me.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys are running Trial of Valor even if you're pugging it, so that you have an opportunity to be able to get extra transmog. You never say no. You always say yes to free transmog because
Valid
reasons. So make sure you do that. And I also want to let you guys know, Double Agent, aka Neutral Agent, aka Johnny from Manaroth, did make the grind to 110 on good old Wandering Isle with no faction. We're actually going to have Johnny on the show next week to talk about his endeavors. I congratulated him on Twitter and I was like, let's have you on. And he messaged me and said, I'm ready. So
is there only like what, 2 herbs?
Yeah, so he has to do it via herbing, fishing, and stabbing mining. Whatever's on the island, crab related. I don't
know. It's mining, right?
Yeah, because the killing doesn't even...
that kind of stuff doesn't give you... Herbing and mining is essentially the only way that he can get skill ups. And it's... Well, let's see. The expansion dropped the 29th of August, right? No. Yes.
Yes.
Something like that.
So expansion dropped 20... So it hasn't... Because he got it last week?
Yeah. So it only took him, what, over 3 months?
Yeah.
Which is, wow.
He's getting faster. That's what's happening.
Obviously.
He's getting faster with it. It's funny because I know he also has... I know he rolled a hunter. I need to find it. Well, I guess we can ask him next week what the status of that. Make sure you guys follow him on Twitter because he's awesome. And it's just nice to see somebody doing something against the grain. He has no reason for doing it. He's not getting fame and fortune. Like, people are burning down his door to try to give him free Steel Series gear. He's just doing it because it's the thing to do.
But does he get free Steel Series gear?
I don't think so. I don't feel like Johnny's that type of guy. I mean, I wouldn't say no to free shit, but I don't think...
Right.
He's just, and Johnny's really quiet, and he's just kind of to himself, and he just sits,
Obviously, he's on an island by himself picking shit.
I know. He Netflix, though. When we brought him on.
Does he really? Okay.
We've had him on both times he maxed out, and he said the secret is he Netflixes. He just clicks in Netflix, which is smart.
Yeah, but still.
And he plays other tunes that are maxed that he can go out and do things with. Like, he's not just, it just sucks because he can't do anything because he can't pick a faction, so he has no guild. He doesn't have any outside of battle tag.
He can't do anything.
He has no social, but I'm sure people go and visit him. I should go and make a point of making a tune on his server during expansions and just go sit and have tea with him. Yeah, just sit there and hang out while he's doing stuff.
You want to shout out his Twitter? Maybe that'd be...
Oh, yeah, so... let me pull that Twitter up real quick. But you guys should follow him just because he's awesome.
He's got his NPC now he can talk to.
So it's his Twitter is @NeutralAgent. So make sure you guys give him a follow. When you follow him, tweet to him, tell him PWNCAST sent you in his direction. He's an awesome guy. He actually on the 24th of November is when he actually hit 110. So
finally did it.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome.
That's cool.
That's exciting. And he plays a warlock also, which is really nice. I'm really hoping when we bring him on the show next week that he doesn't say he plays an affliction lock, because I'll be literally crushed. Like, our love affair will be over at that point, because once you tell me you're affliction, I can't be your friend. So hopefully, Johnny, if you're listening, I know you watch the show, that you are not affliction. And if you are, lie to me and tell me that you're not affliction. Just kidding.
She'll find out.
I will laugh.
So
He's like, yeah, I love affliction. Best thing ever.
a lot of people took to the forums to verbally assault Wowhead, essentially, which was very shocking for me. I never thought I would see people be angry at Wowhead. Now, it's no secret that Wowhead has ads.
Fucking loud, mad at them.
That's how they get their revenue. I use ad block personally. I don't deal with their ads whatsoever, because what used to happen is I would be sitting there with Wowhead open. And because we, even though we own a website, we use Wowhead for the data source, because they data mine, and I need their information. They data mine in order to be able to build my guides. So I hear their ads will randomly pop in the background, and somebody finally told me to get ad block. So what's happened is it was causing disconnections on their PCs to things, and it was malicious, and they gave a PC response, but people were very upset. Now, there's two sides to the coin. Wowhead needs to have revenue in order to be able to run, right? Like, I get it. Maybe your display ads are not the best marketing tactic. With as big as you are,
they have a ton though.
As big as they are, they should be able to get paid product placement via World of Warcraft, via all the other people that they're partners with. Why aren't they paying for placement on their website versus very intrusive ads, right? They're very intrusive if you don't have ad block. So, I mean, I get it. As a website, you guys do a lot of things. You need to be able to make that money happen. I'm very adamant with PWNCASTDailyQuest.com, which is the reason we do not have ads whatsoever. I could easily make money off that site, and I could make good money because that site has a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of people who use PDQ for more personalized guides. We don't data mine, but we have what you need, and on a smaller scale. I won't use ads. I could easily make that into a moneymaker, but I hate it when I see it on other websites. I hate it. Why would I want to put my gamers who come to PWNCAST for information? Why would I want them to have to suffer through that? And I have told people the only time I would ever do it is if I was ever backed into a corner where I couldn't afford to pay for the site anymore. I would go after a sponsor of sorts, like a paid product placement. Like, hey, Jinx, why don't you pay me to advertise your stuff, and it'll be its own, the ads that I'm in charge of, where they go, and it's not ads for Rosetta Stone and fucking Ginsu knives and shit that doesn't matter to players. But the people spoke in a large fashion, and a lot of people are sick of their shit because now Wowhead's offering a premium service that you can pay for.
Right.
Oh, really?
I'm not opposed for paying for information, right? I think
that's fine.
I don't like to knock other people's get down. However, I feel like I'm going to say stuff that I shouldn't, so I'm not going to comment on that. Those of you who have listened to us for a really long time already know how I feel about people that charge for stuff like that. You already know how I feel about those kind of things, especially when you've been offering shit to players for free for how many years. I have a problem with that. That's their get down. I'm not knocking their hustle. You do your thing. You handle your business. I personally will never pay to use your site. I will continue to go to MMO Champion, who also data mines. I will pull the data that I need from them versus Wowhead before I will ever pay for faster service or whatever your premium offers. Now, what was upsetting to players is that it had been stated by somebody at Wowhead, and I'm not going to say names here, but it had been stated, well, if you bought the premium service, you wouldn't have this. Maybe you should buy the premium service,
like a bunch of crap.
because it caps it if you don't. Your traffic is capped if you don't have the premium. And I was like, ooh, that's just really poor form. Then somebody else who doesn't work for Wowhead but is affiliated with Wowhead went on the record and said, not my problem, basically. Tweeted, this is not my problem. I don't work for Wowhead. This is not my problem. But you're endorsing and you're putting your name on something that's causing players problems. Right. It is your problem. This is why Blizzard allowed it to be posted. Blizzard stepped in and said, you need to fix your shit because our players are getting pissed off and we endorse you. Shit happens, guys. I said, I use Wowhead for their data because I need it to be able to do my guides. I need their data for what I do for you guys. Do I agree with paying for premium? I don't. If you want to pay for it, handle your business. I think maybe they should just do a Patreon like Blizzard Watch does. Let people give to them. Blizzard Watch is funded by the community. So whatever, if people want to pay for it, it's cool. I would data mine myself, which I've been thinking about it seriously. Not for just like I wouldn't data mine and put it public. It would be for me to just have a means. It's a project I didn't want to take on, and I don't really know how to do data mining. And if somebody in the community does know how to do data mining and you want to help me do it, I would love for you to reach out to me, because I do need a developer, because I don't have time to do it myself. But be wary. Always have ad blocker anyway, even outside of your Wowhead use. Always have ad blocker on. Always protect yourself on the internet. Don't assume any one website is safe ever. Just don't.
Here's where I'll disagree with you. It's a double-edged sword without ad blocker. With ad blocker, when you're using it on sites like YouTube, those ads that run in the videos with the AdSense are going to contribute to those providers and those content makers to actually get revenue brought into.
You can designate. I don't have them turned off for YouTube. I still see the ads on YouTube. You can designate.
But what really concerns me is that with the responses that were being put out there, when Blizzard themselves say, look, we're going to put links on our website and our forums and our armory to go to your site, because we are holding you at such a high standard that we want you to be the go-to people, and you do not closely monitor the ads that are being put on there, then that is your problem. That is not anybody's who does not want to get the premium service. That is not, and I'm not trying to be, don't get me wrong, I'm not condescending in any way, but there's a sense of personal responsibility that you need to take.
For sure.
To say, okay, I'm going to monitor content. They don't let anybody just put anything up there. I mean, hell, they even have moderators for the comment sections that can be stricken down in a heartbeat.
Which, in truth, most of the valuable information comes from the users anyway. And I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, but it just is what it is. I get the information I need from comments from users. That's why when you see me do a guide and I got information from somebody, I give them credit, and it's usually their Wowhead profile link, because that's who I got. Like, I'll take what everybody puts and I compile it into one, because Wowhead, it's all over the place. There's like everything is just kind of all over, and I don't dislike as a small WoW website, right? We're not on Wowhead status or anything. We do our own little thing, and it's good for the people that use it, and I have no desire of grandeur for anything like that. I just feel like you said, and there is a responsibility that people have, and I get that you want to make your money. I totally get it, but it can't be at the cost of what's needed for players. And the reality is it didn't just come with this incident. Their decline because of their ads has been a problem for a really long time, because there's a lot of people who are not internet savvy enough to know how to block that stuff. And it is a problem when you are on with a GM from World of Warcraft getting quest help and they send you to Wowhead. I have a problem, and you're endorsing that, and I need you to just make your money. I don't have a problem with your hustle. Sell your pins. Do your things to make your money. Don't be intrusive on my personal space when I'm coming to you. Here's the reality, and I'm going to hit people with truth, and it's going to offend people, but they're the only ones that do the data mining, guys. Of course they're the top of the fucking list. They're it. There's no other competition. They've cornered the market. Nobody else wants to data mine. Why? Because the developers don't even like data mining. They talk shit about data mining all the time. So while we're putting people on pedestals, yes, they do great work. They do a lot of work. They help me. They help the community. But they're the only ones doing it. There's no one else out there to compete with them on a data mining level. If I data mined, I could probably be able to do some nice things too, but I don't have the means or the know-how to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Or the time.
And I appreciate what they do, but it's not just this incident. That's what a lot of people said on the forums. Like, FYI, it's not just today. Today is not just my problem. My problem is just the decline of the quality of the site. There's always load issues. I always have trouble loading Wowhead. Now, as a person who runs a website, I can't fault them, because I did a guide and that guide crashed the whole website because we got an influx of 60,000 users in a span of 5 minutes. And it got posted on Reddit, and all hell broke loose at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the site was flooded with 60,000 people, and it completely shut the site down. I'm not on Wowhead's level because I have my own hosting that I pay for, and it's cheap hosting, and it does the job, and it crashed all the things. So I feel sorry for them
that's
when
like trial and error for you, Bill. So
I learned
Wowhead has, they have so much traffic. Like, people crossing the border. I mean, it's just nonstop.
That was very racist.
Wow.
No, it's true. I cross the border all the time. What are you talking about?
Oh, you mean legally? I got you.
Yeah.
You meant driving.
Come on,
Okay.
smart ass. Man, why you got to take it there? Anyways, I mean, it is what it is. You know, they've taken time. They have the ads. They have whatever. I mean, it's crashed my computer on numerous occasions while I'm trying to look up the simplest thing, because there are some quests where Blizzard doesn't tell you shit on how to do it, and then you're like, hey, let me go to Wowhead, because, you know, other avenues like Thoughtbot doesn't really exist anymore, so that's gone. Yeah, I went there liking.
That was, next thing you do is Alakazam.
I use Thoughtbot for all the old stuff. Everything.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah.
I still use it's bookmarked. I use Thoughtbot for the old stuff because it's in and out. You're in and out.
Thoughtbot? Thank you.
I don't have to go through 40 different comments and 40 different clicks to different links and tooltips to be able to find the information that I need in a quick fashion that's not convoluted by a bunch of technical shit that nobody cares about. Technical is great, and I think that that's awesome, but I don't care about that. I just want you to tell me how I get from A to B easily. Yep. But Thoughtbot was a dying art, and I loved the hell out of Thoughtbot. But I'm pretty sure Thoughtbot and Wowhead are connected. I feel like Zam might have bought Thoughtbot, or perhaps people that were originally Thoughtbot started Wowhead or Zam or something. I don't know the company structure because I don't care enough to know it. But I feel like it's maybe the original people had been. Thoughtbot was amazing, though. Yeah. It was ahead of its time.
Welcome. See? Yeah, I segued into Thoughtbot. See that?
I miss them so much. I wish they still did good stuff. So in regards to that, just tread with caution. Make sure you protect yourself no matter who the website is, even when you go to PDQ. Always know what you're doing, always protect yourself, and always be aware. Your computer outside of your children is your most valuable possession as a gamer, right? Like, outside of your family, your computer is next on that list of things you take out of your house when it's on fire. Next to the dog, it's you got your dog, you got your kids and your wife, and you have your computer, because that, for a gamer, is all we've got. That's our lifeline. So,
is it in that order?
Well, as long as you make sure the family's out, and you typically the family goes first. If you can multitask, you can get the family and the pets. But if you have to go back and get your pets, you get your computer and your pet, and you're happy. And if you're single, the computer. Maybe if you have tacos in the house, you take those as well. But during a fire, the
How did I know you were going to say that bullshit? I knew you were going to say it. First thing I'm grabbing is my keys, my cell phone, my wallet.
No.
Always buy a new computer.
No, you cannot replace Bertha. She's not replaceable.
Bullshit.
She had a full transplant. I transplanted all of her organs. I can't live without her.
On that brand new computer that you got like last year?
Hey,
she needed an upgrade.
When you flash your computer's BIOS once, you've kind of committed yourself.
You've connected. When you've swapped the thermal paste out because some idiot on the internet told you to change the thermal paste. Because you left yourself open. Raise your hand if you've ever posted on Facebook or Twitter and you've asked for computer help like a dumbass, and you got 20 comments of every pro in the business that doesn't know anything about computers telling you to flash your BIOS and replace your thermal paste. I did it. I know about computers, and here I went thermal pasting my little heart out, flashing my BIOS. It was a bad time.
Oh, yes.
What an idiot I was. And I finally said, I'm done with all of you guys in your bullshit comments. Like, don't try to help me. I don't want any of your... I'm sorry I ever posted.
On my California Potato computer, that's all I needed was thermal paste.
Well, I did tell them, I did say in the post, if you are not a professional computer person, please don't comment and tell me some shit that you read on a forum, because I've already forumed.
Control-Alt-Delete. There you go.
But
press that one.
You knew that was going to open yourself up to so many problems. That's like the Cincinnati Zoo going, please stop with the Harambe memes.
Well, remember,
and what do? They do more of them.
I was getting stressed out because I couldn't do the show because the computer kept shutting off, and I could not. I was doing everything every forum and technical person told me to do, and at the end of the day, it ended up being the processor was a brand new processor, but it was a bad processor, and I just instead of replacing the processor, I replaced everything, because my thought is I don't really know if it's the processor for sure, so fuck it. I'm just going to replace all the things, and then...
Wasn't that thing under warranty?
So the problem with it being under warranty is you have to send your computer back.
Right,
which means you're without. I can't be without for the show. So warranties are great, except they're not really great. So I just replaced everything because that's how I roll. And guess what? Bertha has no issues. So
It'd be nice if warranties were like, here, send us what you want, and we'll cut you the check.
Send me a replacement rig, right? Like if you
Right.
want to like a car, like send me a replacement rig. I realize that
Like
to
a rental?
people, computers aren't necessarily a part of their everyday life, but I'm chained to her, so I need to keep her. Yeah. My brother was like, I don't understand why you just don't do the warranty. Because I need it. I can't go without it, not even for a day. So
Yeah.
anyway, we a little bit off topic there, but equally important.
Sorry.
We're all gamers, and computers they're a big part of life. So that was pretty much in a nutshell all the news before we get into the segments. Now I'm working on a 7.1.5 Everything You Need to Know guide. I'm halfway through. I'm also going to do a little video just so that people can auditory hear it, and then you can also go to the guide and see what's being added, what's being changed, and what you need to know. And I'm also going to complete my add-on guide this week. I just added some new add-ons to it and made sure it was the freshest it could be. So that stuff will be out on the PWNCAST YouTube channel and the PDQ when I have time to be able to finish it out this week. So it's going to be difficult going through the going through Lycan segment without having Jim follow it up with his amazing thing. But I'm excited, and I told you guys last week that I was sad he was not on the show because of PWNCAST After Dark, because we do have some very illicit tales. I don't really know how to describe it. I avoided reading it because I wanted to be surprised when you talked about it. But what are we going to talk about for the lore today?
We are definitely going to earn that adult rating that we so much cherish with PWNCAST. But tonight, boys and girls, I present you with PWNCAST After Dark. Stories of carnal passion. Set across several books, we hear stories of necrophilia, hentai, bestiality, menage a trois, and omnisexuality. The sexual escapades of a member of the Church of Light, the sleazy adventures of a holy man, and not in that type of way. It is the steamy romances of Marcus the Paladin. And for those who don't know who Marcus the Paladin is, Marcus is the main protagonist in all of the books, steamy romance novels. And I went through and I read all of them. It was disturbing. We're going to go into this a little bit.
All right.
In giggity. Marcus was once a man of the cloth, spending his time in Stormwind City, healing the sick, taking care of the poor, and saving people from injustices. All that changed when he was reassigned to be a quest giver. There was a Murloc infestation that needed to be dealt with, and Marcus was the man for the job. He was to gather adventurers to help slaughter the poor bastards and clean up the area. Marcus never wanted to forsake vows until he met Nani, a human mage that began his slippery slope. When she returned from killing the required Murlocs, she asked if she wanted to have her reward. She was asked if she wanted to have a reward. After some playful banter from Nani, Marcus stepped forward, took her by the waist, pressing himself against her, and said, "The reward is non-negotiable." Nani, saying she may not want what he had, met Marcus in a hot, sensual kiss that melted her frost armor, asking ever so playfully, "So, is there another step to this quest?" Well, it seems after his annex with Nani, though we're not sure how there's finished, we see Marcus talking to Karma, and she was a Pandaren stable master, asking about their last conversation, Karma not wanting to upset her partner, and Marcus hinting at getting freaky with two Pandarens at a time. Denied Marcus and sent him on his way. Marcus entered the bar and found his way to Madame Goya, reminding himself of why Pandarens are referred to as bouncy. Not wanting to entertain Marcus directly, she offered him a choice of several pieces of armor, a tiny companion, and even an exotic mount. She told him that her finest assets are upstairs and to enjoy himself. Reaching the top step, Marcus met his eyes with two beautiful blood elf sisters, but quickly unsheathed his sword, bathing them in all its glory. And before I go any further, these are actually direct lines from some of these books.
Oh, I believe it. I've read some of
they're
those things on
horrible.
accident. Oh my God.
The blonde blood elf, seeing the long sword playfully, laid it in her hand on the tip of the sword and marveled at someone being ready for battle. He leaned in, pressing the hard steel to the blonde blood elf, whispering something in her ear and awaiting her response. She leaned back, saying that she was not into that kind of stuff, but her sister was. The dark-haired blood elf smiled approvingly, magically removed her clothing, and cast fortitude on Marcus for the stamina. He begins to feel weightless, placing his hands... Oh, and so the story ends on that one. The next book we read, and it goes in a little bit further. Giggity. But Marcus isn't always the domineering type. He also likes to take the submissive route, if you know what I'm saying. Sula, a Draenei shaman, put him in his place and demanded that his gifts to her be better suited than a cheap necklace. The best way to describe it is from the book directly. Silence penetrated the room with palpable force as the conversation shifted to the language shared by all the races of Azeroth. Minutes become hours until their passionate dialogue was interrupted by lightning streaking from the cloudless sky. Also, for Marcus, height is not an issue. Tavi, she is a gnome affliction warlock, wanted to invite friends to join in their escapade. Marcus, always willing to try something new, was up for the adventure. Unfortunately, Tavi misclicked and summoned a fellhound instead of a succubus. Apologizing, she dismissed the fellhound quickly. She dropped him to his knees and Marcus begging for relief. The best way to describe the rest of this is, again, to go to a quote right from the book. He thrust his hand forward, sending a wave of righteous force through her. Her eyes rolled back as she wavered for seconds before regaining her consciousness. We also know of an undead rogue that likes to give it to Marcus from behind. Atusa assures him that the unlatching of his breastplate was not a finishing move and she was only getting started. Marcus quickly wrapped his arm around the remaining part of her waist and nibbles on some of the vertebra in her neck. That's getting to the disturbing parts. Gets even better, though. Only one book, though, does not have Marcus in it directly, but refers to Revi, a goblin that goes shopping before a night of fun with him. She meets with a goblin shopkeeper named Jack and buys some supplies. Interested in some of the rockets he had in different colors, she shows her disappointment with the sizes. First, Jack shows her the big one, then introduces her to another one called the bigger one. She reached out, stroking the smooth yellow surface, and said she'll take two of them. Adding some hardened adamantite tubes to enhance the effect. Ravi notices still something else. She asks if the defibrillator can be used on someone while they're still alive. Jack, always aiming to please, assures her and throws in some mayhem projection goggles for half price. The next book we learn of a special someone in Marcus's life, Raven. This one comes directly from Warlords of Draenor. Now, Raven is a stable hand from the Alliance garrison. I will be referencing the book a lot, reading the excerpts directly. But after a long, hard ride, Marcus stops to see the stable hand. Marcus, assuming that he is all right, placed a bulging sack from underneath of his armor into Raven's rough, steady hands. Raven gently squeezed the bag to see what was inside without opening the package. Marcus said to him, "Don't be coy. You know what's in there. But I have something even better for you." Raven gleefully asked Marcus to give it to him. His arms flexed slightly as he felt something heavy, strangely warm, and smooth along its length. "Oh, this, familiar. Okay, yes, I know that part. An enchanted sword." Raven released the glowing weapon from one hand, letting it swing in front of him. Marcus looked down and raised his eyebrows. I'm glad you like it. Certainly not the first you've held. Never one like this. Raven replied with a wink. We need to work on that grip. It's too tight. Perhaps you have some time for some practice, Marcus asked, peering into Raven's dark brown eyes. Raven runs off to tie up the horse, and that story ends. Finally, and I was kind of disappointed when I didn't get it at first, we hear of Marcus in Legion. And we actually get this is the first time we actually see him in game. The last chapter in these sexual escapades of Marcus comes in Legion. After killing a ton of Murlocs, Marcus meets up with a Tauren. She asked how he fought off so many Murlocs with just a dagger. But he was quick to point out, this is a two-handed sword, enchanted to the hilt. Perhaps not as big as you've seen, but I know a few tricks to really make it sing. Tonda is a female Tauren. Offers Marcus some homemade cheese. But nay, Marcus is lactose intolerant. She was upset asking Marcus to tolerate her as she pressed herself to him. As Marcus was searching for her tail, Bax, the husband of Tonda, walked in. Bax charged, ramming into Marcus while uttering a challenge. Bax and Marcus started to wrestle. Marcus grabbed both horns as they fought. And finally, Marcus bursted out a spell, Blades of Light, as a huge pulsating sword thrust up in between the two, tearing through some clothing and armor. Tonda raised up her leg and slammed it down, knocking back the two men. Fur was ruffled and the bare parts of their leathery skin glistened with sweat as they all stared one another down. The ridiculously good-looking Marcus spoke. Well, since we're mostly undressed already, and that is the end of that book as well. While the last book, we never got to see Marcus again, or his undulating sword in game, until Legion, we actually get to see Marcus just outside of Thunder Totem, leaving a tent with a male and a female Tauren inside, lying next to each other. As you stand there, you see Marcus stand up from in between them and state, well, that was certainly unexpected. A fitting end so far for Marcus and his stories. Maybe we'll see another book in Legion when we go to Argus. Marcus and a Dreadlord, anyone? We'll just have to wait and see.
Oh my.
I thought that's where that was going too, because I walked into there on accident, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I walked out. And...
We talked about it in beta. We seen it in beta,
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the fuck just is going on right now?" That is, I've never read those steamy romance novels because the Tauren that was holding the cheese, it really creeped me out. Food should never be in the bedroom unless it's
No.
Never mind. That doesn't even.
But
matter.
it was homemade cheese.
That's so gross. My. Who at Blizzard has this erotic?
I want to know I want to know the developer that actually sat down to think up every one of these stories.
I was embarrassed listening to you read it because I get embarrassed about that kind of stuff sometimes.
You can see I'm actually kind of read myself. It was kind of funny.
Crazy. They said a lot of adjectives in there. Very descriptive.
But they never. I mean, the puns
It's all left
and the
to
innuendos.
assumption. You're making assumptions at this point. But I mean, some of that is just my.
I gotta say that Tonda and Bax with Marcus has got to be my favorite. The steamy romance novel Got Milk has got to be the favorite.
It just came in. I'm happy now.
You got a curved monitor?
Yeah.
That's on my list of stuff to buy.
Did you order that from Amazon?
Fuck no.
I was like, because I heard Amazon's horrible.
Actually, I'm doing all my Christmas shopping on Amazon because
If I want to order something from Amazon, I'll just walk across the street and go pick it up.
yeah, I'm doing most of my Christmas shopping, not World of Warcraft related. That is amazing. Right. I like that. So
yeah, that was good. Good stuff, man.
Creepy. No.
I didn't know that it extended that far into the past.
You said extended, giggity.
Yeah, that was really neat. Because I picked up some of those novels, and I've read like bits and pieces, or I'll send them because they're not soulbound. They're like you can send them to anybody. So I used to send those to my old GM, Stangmeister, because he's part of that. So
It's part of what?
His partner Mike, they read stuff like that. So
Yeah. So he's a connoisseur of those kind of things.
Yes.
Got it.
So occasionally, whenever I would come across one in game, I would always mail it to Mike, and then I'd be like, "Hey, read this to Matt."
How fun.
Well, it was a long, pointed quest for me to go find them all, and it was hard for me to come across. Them.
Giggity! I see what you're doing there. It's so good.
There you go.
That is really
Disturbing,
but really good for those that like it. I can appreciate that nerds are freaks, man. I mean, I don't know if you've never had a nerd, but people that have never had a nerd, it's just weird because we're the best.
Yeah. Hey, Lycan, so I know you've done Kara. Belle, you've done Kara, right? The new one?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you shrink down and you're in the library, you know, you land on those books, right?
I had so much fun. I was so amused that we were tiny. We were pet battling. We were fighting the battle pets.
No.
Not the point.
When you shrink down and you land in the library, you land on a bunch of the steamy romance novels.
Do you? I never even noticed what book it was that we landed on.
Yeah.
I know we landed on books. How funny.
Well, I knew Medivh was a freak. I mean, he liked Garona, and him and Garona were reportedly got it on, but it's not canon, so we're not allowed to discuss the name who cannot be named with Medan, his love child. But I knew he was a freak, but I didn't think he was that much of a freak.
Yeah, when you land, like next time you guys run Kara, look down on the books you land on, and you'll see the pictures. And yeah, it's kind of funny.
Huh. Interesting.
I will have to do that.
Well, before I talk to you about what I'm going to talk about for Bell's Bites, I wanted to show. I'm not wearing it because it's hot in my house. It's winter, but it's still hot in my house. But I wanted to show this awesome. I'm going to show you the back part. This is the Alliance robe. And
that is awesome.
It was Remedy got me and Dark matching Alliance robe.
There you go.
And it has a hood. It's super duper comfy. I'm not a fan of the gold because I don't like the color that they chose for the robe for the gold, but it's really comfy and it's nice.
You should be their fashion designer while you're at it. Picky ass.
I just I expected it to pop more instead of looking so dull. But it's so comfortable and it looks legit. I mean, it's Alliance. How can you not like it?
Right.
Yeah, I was.
So what would you gone with, like a brighter gold?
Yeah, I would have went with just a tiny bit brighter gold, but it makes it look dull, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful robe. And this what?
I could make you uncomfortable. I was going to say, are you and Dark going to role play in it with this epic
No,
stuff?
we're not going to role play. It's so weird. But Dark wears a robe every day. Like, that's his life. He gets up and he puts a robe on and he walks around all day in his robe unless he has work. If it's a day he's got work, he is in work attire. But 99% of the time he lives in his robe. So it was the perfect gift for him. I wear a robe mostly during the winter because when you first wake up and it's really cold in your house. Because we don't run the heater really because it's Arizona. You don't need the heat during the day.
It was actually like 55 degrees all day.
I know.
here.
I love the cold. I'm so excited for it to continuously be cold. I love it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
I'm not complaining. I want it to be cold. I would trade places with you in a New York second if I wanted to live there. I don't, but I mean, if I did, I would like it to be cold here, but it's not. It's hot.
You don't live that far from the snow, anyways.
Yeah, I don't really like to drive places, though. You guys know how I am. I don't leave unless it's BlizzCon. Let's not make this weird.
You don't leave unless you're forced to.
So, valid. So, for Bell's Bites, I wanted to talk a little bit about... I wanted to... Several of you sent me emails this week, and those of you that send me emails, you talked to me about how you took my advice and you leveled an alt. And you did have a really fun experience. And I thank you for sharing that with me because I, too, have had a really fun experience. And I wanted to talk about that in light of us having a conversation earlier about how monotonous the world quests get on your main. And there's no real drive to continue to do it. And you're just kind of like, what do I need to, like, and it said, pursue something else instead of the world quests. So I started doing my alts. And the idea behind it is to keep myself into the content and to break up the monotony of Belle. So I leveled my monk, maxed her out. I like healing, and I think that's all great. But at the end of the day, healing's not what I love, right? It's not a role that I love. The role that I love is DPS. Now, previously, it was really hard for me to DPS on something that was not Bell. I never felt comfortable enough to play another class. Well, I'm about to start working on the class guides for 7.2 with all the changes and working on sustainable, easy guides from our perspective of how to play your class. I realized very quickly that I need to know how to play these classes personally if I'm going to be the one doing the guides. So I rolled my monk. It's maxed. Got her Mistweaver weapon. I already got her Windwalker weapon. This week I'll have her Brewmaster. Brewmaster's a little broken, so I'll wait till they fix it. I'll be playing all three of those in tandem. Not all the time, not 24 hours a day, enough for me to be able to grasp the concept of what it means to be those different specs, and to pull myself out of the roles that I'm used to. So then I chose the Hunter next because I thought, Destro DPS is amazing. However, you have to finesse it. You've always had to finesse it. You have to do everything you need to do on Destro to get it to be able to compete with all the other top DPSers where it's so easy. So I thought, well, let me level Taco Bell, which Reckon Bell's the monk and then Taco Bell's the hunter. And boy, was it refreshing to level and it just be... I'm not saying hunters are easy, so don't anybody get me the wrong way, but the DPS came very flow with my rotation. It
was very comfortable.
It just came out, and I didn't have to struggle really, really hard, giggity. I didn't have to struggle really hard to be able to top the meters in the dungeons. I was really, really super happy. Right. And it was, I really enjoy Marksman, which I'm lone wolfing it because that's what you do. And it's very fun. It's fun to be able to move and cast, or, to move and kill and do all those things. And I barrage all the things. And I'm finally that guy. I'm that guy that you hate that's a hunter, because Remedy will be like, well, don't barrage right here when we're fighting Ettins. That's a cool. I'm not going to barrage. Just kidding. I clicked the barrage and I barraged everything. And now we're fighting 3 Ettins. I'm sorry. It was an accident. I didn't mean to barrage. Just kidding. I totally meant to barrage.
You're one of those people.
I really am. Just because
Fucking
it's
ass.
there. It's like the button in your car that somebody tells you not to push because it's like the NAS button and you always want to push the button, so I totally did. I had a freaking blast. It was so refreshing to just do something fun. So then I inadvertently, on accident, got my Titan Strike for Beast Mastery because I thought it was my next set of Class Hall quests, and it turns out it was for I clicked some shit and accepted the quest, and I'm going to just get survival as well. I'm just going to go ahead and do all 3 of the weapons for all of my alts, just to get it done.
I heard survival was actually really, really fun, though.
A lot of people seem to like it. The only reason I went lone wolf on Marksman is because I wasn't ready to deal with the pets yet. I need to grasp what it means to be a hunter first. Then once I've got that down, then I can start dealing with the pets. I needed to just really become one with the hunter. Then, I could do Beast Mastery or whatever and work out what it's like to have a pet and to utilize the different pet families and stuff like that. So, super
That's
fun.
fair.
Next one on my list is going to be, I think, the DK. I've always loved Unholy. I know there's only 2 kinds of DKs, right?
Like a Lycan's
There's
face.
Frost and there's Unholy. Blood is always there. People are always blood because they swap at the drop of a hat. I leveled in Mists of Pandaria on Death by Bell as Unholy. That was back when it wasn't as easy to level as Unholy. It was considered like you usually leveled as Frost because people considered the rotation to be difficult. But I did it anyway because you guys know me. I do what people tell me not to do. And I think that's going to be my next one because I don't melee and I want to step myself out of that box. So I wanted to ask you guys how has your time been with you, those of you that are leveling alts. Are you enjoying that time? I want you to comment on the show, send me your emails, let me know what you think. I'm interested in what you guys have to say as far as how that goes. Now, I have been PvPing, and I haven't stepped into arenas yet, but I have been battlegrounding. I'm still enjoying the PvP in great detail. Now, this next week, I will be stepping into some arenas, so be looking for next week to hear all about how I feel about arenas. They're making a lot of changes to classes, so I'm kind of just waiting to see what they're doing with stuff. Luckily, they're leaving the Warlock alone. And then in 7.1.5, they got a lot of great changes coming for Elemental. all across the board. Huge buffs,
Thank
man.
God.
These are going to be the new go-tos. Watch. They're going to be like, I'm sorry we kind of screwed you guys over. We are going to just make you guys OP as shit. And I was talking with Epoxis, one of our, aka Jake from State Farm. We were talking about the changes, and they've always been really bursty, and their burst has always been amazing, but they've never had sustained power, and that's always been a problem. It's great in arenas because you can pop out and burst people down, but then you're out of juice and you have nothing. So if you don't get it in that one shot, you're burnt.
Right.
But they're making
Sounds like pregnancy.
Or
Did I ruin you people?
it's just so
No.
I don't even know.
I just got you with that one. Got it.
I know my head is all. So for my for Bell's Bites, I wanted to see what you guys do to break up the monotony of your main. Talk to me about how you feel when you're rolling your ult. How do you decide what ult you want to play when you're leveling? Are you leveling solo? Because I've leveled with Rem has been leveling, and then we brought in Teal Soiled for the last set that we leveled, and we have a really good pace. We start in Azuna and work our way over. We can usually do 2 zones in an evening session, which is just a couple of hours because during the week I don't get a lot of game time. But I want to know what you guys do. How do you guys stay? There's many ways that I use to keep myself interested. Even though it's the beginning of a new expansion, we still have a lot of content and a lot of things that are going to be added. I still feel like people still get bored. And I don't want people to be like, God, players are never satisfied. It's not really about that. It's just being bored of the same and not being able to pull yourself out of that to think of doing something else. Level another character when you're getting bored. Don't go to another game because you're bored with World of Warcraft. Level something else. You might accidentally find something that you love. I didn't think I would like playing a hunter. And it's really difficult when you play a class that one of your friends masters, because then you're always like, am I doing it wrong? Are they going to judge me for my rotation? Am I,
Especially you.
Well, what I've learned about myself, and I think that this would probably, a lot of players would probably feel from my perspective, is I'm so stuck in my Warlock bubble that I'm concerned that I won't be able to play another class, right, as good as my Warlock, because that's what I know. So what I found really quickly is with these other DPS, I might actually be a capable player. Like, I might be okay. The only thing I really don't like right now is Elemental. I tried to get my Elemental weapon, and my gear's so shit. I'm like 603 for my item level, and I struggled on the second boss for the Elemental weapon, so I just abandoned it. Yeah, it's... And
what
this...
the fuck?
It doesn't... it's... Of all the weapons, it was it's the hardest for me to get, and it's a large part of me not understanding Elemental rotation enough to be able to overcome... that my gear's only 603 literally, and the mob scale to your
like 720 when I did it. So.
Yeah, it's and when I leveled the shaman, I didn't gear her at all. So
you didn't even do the invasions or anything?
No, I didn't do any of that stuff on her.
Oh man. Yeah,
so
60.
it's easy. It was easy to do on the hunter because it doesn't matter what your item level is. Your hunter's your hunter. Like, you could totally make it work. You have enough defensives to be able to do what you need to do. A huge fan of fucking disengage. Like, don't disengage off a mountain, guys.
No, or don't disengage and siege your Ogremar onto a conveyor and fucking die.
Yeah, you did that. I remember.
That guy.
I remember.
Fuck.
And the feign death is my favorite of all the hunter things. It's my absolute favorite.
Until a mob sniffs you and then fucking it's like, hey, you're still alive.
I know, I got mad. I was like, wait, how did they know I was just laying here pretending to be dead? Now, my favorite is Remedy was actually healing on his paladin when I was leveling the hunter, and I might have misdirected to him, which was kind of funny. I did enjoy being able to misdirect to somebody else, and I don't know that he ever knew, so...
He does now.
Nice.
Yeah, I did. I totally misdirected to him, and I did it a lot, and it was really fun.
You're a dick.
But I felt very empowered. Which I always was the guy that like charged in anyway whenever we were doing things, especially on the Warlock because I have my Blueberry. But I just literally went ham. I would go ham and barrage everything, and I would tell him, like, make sure you heal because I'm pulling pretty much everything. And it was really fun to level the Hunter because we got those quests done so quick, especially when you needed stuff like the Fatty Bear Steaks, or there was items that you needed to collect off mobs. Like, we would kill 30 in 2 seconds. It was because Soiled was on his Warlock. So you combine the
Warlock's...
Warlock's...
One of his 10?
Yeah, well, really, he really has 10. But you combine the Warlock's AoE with the Hunter's AoE, and it was just a merry of quick and dirty, and the quests were done. So the point for Bell's Bites is keeping yourself relevant in game, keeping yourself relevant for your guild, keeping yourself happy and relevant for your friends, keeping yourself relevant for your own sanity. It always makes me sad when I see people take a break from World of Warcraft and go play other games. Not that I don't want other people to play other games, but I feel like they're missing, you know, if your friends go with you to play those games, it's not as terrible, right? Like with Warlords, we would go Minecraft, or we would go play Terra, or we would do something when we needed to break it up.
I tried to play Terra.
Your computer was like, nah.
I got to level 5 and it crashed. It's like, nope.
I need to go back in there, actually, but we're not talking about other games. But I want to know how you guys deal with it, because I know how I deal with it. I'm a little bit different. I'm forced to love it. Even when I don't love it, I'm just ingrained. It's part of my DNA to just... we kept you guys hyped all through a really shitty expansion. I don't know how we did it. And now I got to keep you guys hyped through the lulls. When... Not a content lull, because there's more than enough content. Just the lull of mundane and the same. I want to know how you guys are doing on your alts, or if you haven't rolled an alt yet and you're just still not active, why? Tell me what you need. Are you missing friends to play with? Are you missing, what is it you are missing to keep you interested and happy? If it's real life, I can't really help you with real life stuff, but I want to know your guys' thoughts. So make sure you guys comment and let me know how you feel. If you're an iTunes listener, make sure you send me an email, bell@pwnecast.net, because I want to know what love is.
Because she cares, guys.
Yeah, I do care. And there's some couple emails that I wanted to read, and I'm going to pull them up real quick. Because I did want to read them. I just have to find them. So let's see. I got an email on the 15th, which is regarding cast 134. Hello, PWNCAST. After talking what to do next, I agree with Lycan. A popular theory of what expansion could be next, especially if you focus on Legion lore and listen to hints given by NPCs. Even if we kill Sargeras, the real threat remains. The Legion wasn't the big bad, only difference is the Legion was a lot more active. The old gods were the reason for the Legion's formation to begin with. There are still storylines we have yet to finish in-game, and he's listed them. The Sithilid and the
Sylphid.
Korjai? You're... Man. Bruh, you're killing me. The Quirajai?
The Karaji?
I don't know. Oh, Ankaraj? I should have known that.
Ankaraj,
It's the only word I can fucking pronounce in the entire game. Ankaraj is the only word I don't have a problem saying. I know you guys are laughing at me at home right now. You're listening in your car on your commute to work, and you guys are cracking up hysterically because Belle's a retard. Bolvar, Four Dragon, Scourge. What happened to the Blue Dragon flight? Whereabouts of Jaina and what she's up to, because you know that bitch is sleeping with somebody.
She's sleeping with the Blue Dragon right now.
Neptulon and the Neptulon and the Elementals. Results of the Nomergon campaign. What happened to Kel'Thuzad? More information on Azeroth being a Titan. Can we communicate with our planet? Hello? I want to communicate with our planet. What happened to Deathwing? Yes, we kicked his butt into the maelstrom, but we didn't see a body or a corpse. Valid. I'm from the Show Me State as well. I want to see your dead, rotting flesh in front of me to know that you're dead. And, of course, what Bell the Dreadlord, apprentice of Jaina, is up to. That's so funny. This person did not leave their name, and the email came from home computer, which is kind of creepy. But thank you for emailing. And
yes, from your house.
They do make very valid points of all of those things. I feel like this was Lycan that sent this because they agreed with Lycan.
Not me. That's awesome.
But I wanted to make sure I read that one. And then from Mark Clark, I got this on the 23rd. Ishnu Allah, which is my favorite. Whenever people reference Suramar things, it makes me so happy. So whenever
fucking nerd.
Whenever they say Ishnu Allah, my response is always, well, Ishnu Allah to you too. Like that's, I'm obsessed with Suramar. I'm a relatively new listener to the podcast. I've been downloading episodes on Podbean. I didn't know we were on Podbean. Just listened to episode 125 through 127. Wanted to drop you a line. I make scrambled eggs on the weekends. Remember when I asked what people do? Because I asked how people like their eggs. I added chopped onion and black pepper, and it makes them yummy, which I'm going to try this weekend. Black pepper. and onions. I'm going to
You've
try.
never used black pepper?
Just a tiny bit, but it seems like this is more of a theme to work with the onion and the scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to try it. Keep up the good
What's
work.
your
You guys
life?
are entertaining. Chloroff, I think is how you say it. Chloraff. Not really sure what you do with chloroform, but it's okay. Mark Clark is his name. But I really, really appreciate. And then I had gotten a couple emails from people letting me know they're leveling escapades on their alts. So I wanted to make sure that I read those so that we could.
That's
I have
cool.
several more, but I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna read a couple each episode, so that we.
Because you'll get more by the next episode anyways. So
Yeah,
Right.
I have like 15 though that I need that I still haven't gotten to when people sent them. So I'll be reading a couple per episode. But so let's get into our week in WoW. Lycan, what did you do this week in World of Warcraft?
Artifact power, and of course, so I got my hidden frost DK appearance.
which looked gnarly.
It does. I do like it, and I did check. By the way, if you do have that as set as your DK appearance or whatever artifact appearance, it does count towards that hidden quest. So you can go ahead. It'll get you the second part. There's another appearance that actually unlocks. That's the green one that I got. It'll unlock the blue version for DKs. Could be different with everybody else, but you have to do the 1,000 PvP kills, whatnot. If you transmog it, as long as that is set to that hidden artifact power, it does, or appearance, it does go ahead and do that.
Oh, okay.
Then I decided, okay, well, maybe I'll start with the unholy one, which is a crock of bullshit, because it only drops off of Army of the Dead. And I spent 4 hours in the Proving Grounds. So for those who are working on the Proving Grounds for the Unholy Artifact appearance, if you go into the Proving Grounds, you can actually go ahead and go in and set it for Bronze Tank
Right.
and start to fight. You don't even have to move from where you're at. All you need to do is Death Grip and Taunt him, and then you sit there, you rack up 2 strikes a year. Well, do your Death and your whatchamacallit, your Army of the Dead first. Death Grip and Taunt. When he gets pulled in, build up your 8 stacks. Go ahead and use Apocalypse. Once you've used Apocalypse, there's actually scripts out on the interwebs that you can find that will tell you whether or not that specific mob has spawned. When you spawn him, he will actually drop a book, which will allow you to get this. I want to say I did almost 200 times this rep. I mean, it just and as soon as you go ahead and do your Apocalypse in your Army of the Dead, you talk to the guy, you tell him you yield, it resets it, allows you to use your Army of the Dead again, resets all your cooldowns, and you can just go ahead and do it again. 200 times. I kept a tally. I was watching Netflix doing this.
Fuck.
And I still have not got it. So that is
That's a shame.
1,600 mobs I spawned in that time period, and nothing. So
I'm sorry.
not feeling the love right now with the DK hidden artifact appearances. The consumption one for Blood DK takes a long time.
That one looks awesome though.
It does.
My
but
buddy got it, so
what really upset me though is the Frost DK. I play a Frost DK. That's what I am. But I'm a completionist, so I need to get the other ones. And we had to wait until Blizzard decided to spawn a certain ad, which was the one we did this week or last week. It's the Soul Takers one.
Mhm.
And until that specific mob was spawned, we could not get our hidden artifact appearance for 3
that's pretty
months.
much a shame.
So, yeah, feeling a little slighted with that. But other than that, working through it, I'm going to start raising an alt here. Going to start hitting the Mythic Dungeons harder again. I've been kind of lax on them, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Oh, and I'm getting my daughter back into it. Friday, I get to buy her Legion,
Cool.
and she will be playing.
I would wait though. I would hold
For?
off because last year, remember the sale closer to Christmas, it was like basically free. So I would give it a little bit of time, especially with it being in the holidays. I honestly, as much as she probably wants to play, I really would just give it a little bit of time and wait for Blizzard because it happens every year and it's going to be
Yeah, that's
probably
true.
at least half off.
I thought about that. And my only concern is I live in Pittsburgh, and it's been getting cold down in the 20s, so she can't go outside anymore. You know, she
Yeah.
usually doesn't go out and play with her friends, so it's kind of like we're stuck in the house. It's cold. It's been wet. It's been snowing.
Yeah.
And she's been, Dad, I really want to play again. And I talked to Mrs. Lakin, and she's like, yeah, go for it. So that's my only thing. I mean, I don't mind paying for the game if she's going to play it, and she will.
I do. I'm cheap as fuck. So.
Though she was very
Just
disappointed.
kidding. I'm kidding, guys. Everybody's out there like, wow, Belle's the worst parent ever.
I logged onto my lock, which I was playing around with for a little bit, and started with demonologies, just checking them out, and had this Gallman already sitting there, and she goes, "That is so cool in the Warlock. When do I get that?" I went, "Well, if you want demo," she goes, "I like my Chaos Bolts."
That's my girl.
Yeah, so
That's
you
funny.
That's my girl. That's how we do in the Malibu. Sauce, you've been gaming. I have seen it with my own two eyes. I have seen you on at random times, which is really nice to actually see you.
When I'm supposed to be at work.
We thought so, but nobody wanted. Everybody messaged me and they were like, "Is David gaming at work?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not. This is not my job."
Yeah, no. We have computers at work that I can't access more than like the internet and Excel.
But I
and
figured
stuff,
maybe
but-
you got time off because of the something.
Yeah, so holiday this week, well, kind of minor off topic. We've already fulfilled all the fulfillment centers at Amazon for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So right now we're kind of at like a standstill for this past week. So our normal volume is like 1.5 million to 2 million units on a shift, where we were doing like 4,000 units, which takes like 2 hours. And they're like, "Okay, you guys can go home." I'm like,
So they
"Cool."
just gave you the
Like,
time off, huh?
yeah, so
That's
hence why I had been on my rogue.
I
It
saw
took me
you.
a whole fucking, I gotta kill these everything, and took say total gameplay like 24 hours to go from 100 to 110. Soul capacitor. If you're a rogue, best
I
thing
hate rogues. So
from 100 to 109. That eruption of fucking amazingness.
did you say
Yeah.
eruptions? Oh my!
Eruption.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was doing as much damage as possible to watch it just explode. Yeah, explosions, eruptions, everything.
Rogues
And
are really
then-
happy with their stuff right now.
Oh yeah, and then I got to 110 and I forgot. Oh yeah, this thing doesn't work anymore. So I was like, why isn't it working? And then it's all red. It's all the text is red, and I'm like, you piece of shit. So it was fun. The rogue is 829 already.
Nice.
Already.
Respect.
People, LFR, super friendly, thanks to the whole being able to trade stuff in LFR now. Literally whispering me, "Hey, do you want this?" Blah, blah, blah. Cool, I'll take it. I can use it. And it's been fun. It was really hard, though, to step away from Secret. And,
It's difficult when you leave your
it was a
main.
pain in the ass. Like, I feel like I'm missing something. And then the one time I get on my main, I get a legendary for Shadow. And I'm just like, well, shit. I knew
did you
I
have
should.
your spec set?
No, I didn't. So I probably would have got some bullshit. I probably would have got just the purple that I was going to DE. So whatever. Ran Kara with the guild and ran Kara with some friends because one of my buddies has never been in Kara. So we literally just ran that before raid tonight. Heroic Emerald Nightmare cleared again this week. So we'll consider 2 more times and then we'll consider that a farm. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Just outlaw all day.
Nice.
I don't care what people
Outlaw
say.
is so much fun.
Nice.
It is. And you, Bell's Bites?
I did a lot of leveling. I've been
Sure did.
working on guides and stuff, so that requires me. I've been spending quite a bit of time in PTR. I'm at a standstill because PTR keeps booting me out of Delaran, and I need to be in there because I'm trying to look at the legendaries for my guide for what they've added. And PTR is just being a huge pain in my ass, so I put in a ticket. Hopefully they don't care about PTR, but I started working on guild stuff, and I did get to run Kara thanks to Rickard messaging me and being like, "Hey, we're putting together a Kara run. I know you've been wanting to finish it because we only had done like 3 bosses before BlizzCon." And he's like, "You're first on my list," and I'm like, "Yes, like I'm in, I'm here. You let me know. I'm working on my guide. Whenever you're ready for me, I'll log over." So we went in there and did it, and it was some of it was a lot challenging. It was so visually fun. Like, it was just so fun to go in there and the twisted hallways and the weird. It was fighting giant
So
battle
you guys
pets.
finished it, right?
Oh yeah, we cleared. It was
Okay.
so much fun.
Which one was your favorite boss, though?
You know, visually, the last boss was pretty amazing.
Yeah, piece of
Yeah.
shit.
Pain in the arse. Visually, in the mechanics, several different things happening at once. I
so many.
I really
Yeah.
appreciated the mechanics. I died every single time we pulled.
That's valid. Yep.
But I wouldn't. Yeah, I was dead when we killed it. Never mind. But I liked his model a lot. I liked his model a lot. I thought they did
That'd
a
be
really
a
good
cool
job.
model for demonology.
Yes, I agree.
Vizidun,
For the observer, I think that's what that should be. But I enjoyed the thought that went into those mechanics. Those mechanics were really tough. And then, you know, when you're on the platform and you have the crap on either side and you have to like go in between it, it's like a gauntlet of sorts. I really like that. And then if you're stupid and you're not paying attention because you're trying to avoid the sides, his eye beam goes right in front of you, and then you're DED dead and everybody's laughing at you. But the last boss was definitely one of my favorites for mechanic purposes. And then obviously the opera was really fun.
Opera's cool.
Yeah, the opera's fun. And I didn't do Kara. I ran Kara like one time in its entirety, and then I just do the first boss. I don't like the horse boss. I don't know what his name is because I don't care. Fuck those horse walls. I can't even deal with that situation. I was literally having anxiety. Like, you could hear me. I was like, like trying to run to avoid the freaking. My husband
your
was like,
model was running.
Yeah, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm just really stressed out because of this boss. I don't want to be the reason we die." But we did it, you know, relatively. You know, I mean, we died. We wiped a couple times, but not. It wasn't terrible.
Right.
It was easily.
Yeah,
cleared.
but I mean, for you to not have cleared it and not know everything,
Well,
I mean, it makes sense.
You know, that was, I meant to talk about that in Bell's Bites, and I forgot to. Part of that is I should have already had my Kara clear. Now, here's what happens, which is something that's been going to be my focus for the next week of my in-game time, is focusing on guild stuff. Clicks happen in guilds, and people find their people that they like to run with for things, and what tends to happen is people that are either not as vocal or maybe not as well known in the guild have issues trying to find people to complete mythic dungeons with, or keystones and that kind of thing. And it's something that as a guild master you have to be aware of, because you have to put the kibosh on that, because it will pose a problem and your guildies will start leaving because they're feeling left out. So with BlizzCon and everything, I had noticed that some of this had started to begin again, because we've already put a stop to this like 12 times in the last 3 years. So I realized that it's now time for me to be active in that, and to make that, you know, now we're going to start having officers be in charge of mythic dungeon runs, so that people know, okay, this day and time is when I can run this mythic or whatever mythic they choose, and have people at the readily available for the times that they're online. So we're doing like a whole thing, organizing it similar to raids, just making it easier where people can log in and get what they need in all the time zones and be able to have somebody to run mythics with, whether it's a healer or a tank. But my frustration with Kara is it was difficult for me to get into a Kara group because all the popular kids were already running with each other, and I thought I was included in the popular kids, and it turns out I wasn't. Oh, fuck me, right? Because I guess I'm just the GM. I'm nobody special. So
you're working when I run it, so
that's okay. At the end of the day, I just had to realize, like, if you're not there for that moment, people aren't going to call to you. Like, nobody sent me a Facebook message. It was like, hey, we'd like to have you along for our run. Nope, we're just going to replace you with the next body, and that's cool. So I realize that I'm late in the Kara game, but I appreciate that Rickett and Aja had said, hey, you're the first. We know you need to clear it, and Rem got his clear, and it was really nice that we were able to, and it was fun. I had a fun time just going through the bats on the ceiling, which was actually the floor, which is kind of bizarre, was not the business. I mean, need you to leave me alone. Yeah. And then I died and had to run back through.
Did you get lost?
The bats again.
Yeah, you know, I get lost everywhere, so they usually res me. I'm the only one people will res, because it's better to just res me than wait for me to find my way to where everybody's at, because you'll be waiting for a while. But I actually had to res, and I, like, 3 bats. I'm like, seriously? There's nothing even here on that little platform, but that's what I've been focusing. I've been focusing on guild stuff and things that make me happy and things that bring me joy. And we're starting up events for writers again. There's going to be 4 events a month. One of them is going to be the Hungry Games. We're getting back to what we used to do with writers and things like BlizzCon that just I don't have the resource for, where that's what our next focus is going to be for the next couple weeks. So I'll have lots of Bell's Bites in that avenue too, and along with the PvP for all the good things that we're doing at the guild. So I'm excited to put work back into it because I feel like the guildies think I abandoned them for BlizzCon, and you know,
Well,
it makes
I mean,
I feel
that's like
guilty.
that's like a once a year thing, though. It's kind of different.
Yeah, but I feel guilty. I feel guilty that, you know, they feel like I don't love them because I have stuff that I'm doing. So, and doing my guides, I'm working on PDQ stuff. I don't have a staff writer for news for the PDQ, so it's just me. Because my writers just disappear. They get jobs in real life. So, if you're alone during the day and you want to be a staff writer for the writing of the news, please let me know. But that's just my focus. Bettering my life in game.
There you go.
And with the people I'm around, that's what I did this week. Well, I think it's about that time for us to
I think so too.
hang up our Pikachu and Colts hats and...
The fuck? How dare you?
I don't have a hat. I need one because my hair is just two-toned. It's awful. It's going to be a different color next week, so let's all get excited. It's like my husband said, every day it's different. I don't know what to expect.
Who's he sleeping with?
I know. I would think that would be exciting. Off topic and another topic for PWNCAST After Dark, but you would think that would keep it interesting in a relationship. But no, it'll be a different color next week.
Not.
Anyway, so I want to thank those of you that are watching and listening. Thank you for spending your hour and a half with us every week. It means a ton. Make sure you send us emails, bell@pwncast.net. Comment on the video. Don't forget to give the video a like. Give it a share. Show us some love. To those of you that commented on the video saying you appreciate what we do, that meant a lot, and I appreciate that. I've gotten a lot of people in game that have just said, "Hey, we appreciate what you do." It's good things. It makes me feel like I'm not just sitting here doing stuff for my mother, essentially. She's like my biggest fan. But we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Make sure you comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new. If you're new, welcome to the fuckery. But we are going to get on out of here.
That's right. Have a good night, guys.
Why did you tie the Pikachu?
Because it makes me look cute.
When you tie it, it makes you look weird. I have lost mine. I think I gave it to the kids.
That I was playing with my balls.
Well, that steamy was all that stuff like
In the books?
most of that was in the book.
Yeah.
Oh, most of it was in the book.
I never looked. I can't believe
Yeah,
I've never
you should read
looked.
those.
The only
I think
books
I
I
have
actually
one in the
clicked on
bank.
was the Admiral Taylor's thing in his garrison, the journal, and from Warlords, and
Yeah, but that talks about his life and stuff.
the codes, the
different.
binary codes from Blingatron, because
From-
I only have one more left.
Me
Oh,
too.
those I never those